back. Now, I want to talk to you about HD camcorders. Their specifications are getting more impressive by the month. Bigger and better sensors for improved image quality, more memory for longer recording times, better image stabilization for steadier shots. But if you're after the ultimate camcorder, which one's best? Well, to find out, I selected 3 top contenders, and to give them a rigorous testing, I headed across the Atlantic to find something spectacular to film. And that something spectacular was NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. At 7:39 p.m. tonight, the Space Shuttle Endeavour will launch. But before that, I had a day to kill. So to test out my top-end camcorders, I decided to check out the pre-launch atmosphere. First up was Sony's HDR-XR520VE. It boasts a staggering 101 hours of filming time on its 240-gig hard disk. Now, one of the really fun things about the Sony is that it's got built-in GPS, so as long as you're getting a signal, it'll record where you're taking each shot. And with its built-in maps, you can see exactly where you've shot your videos. And with the Sony's 12 times optical zoom and rather good image stabilization, getting long shots was a piece of cake. And there it is, the Kennedy Space Center. Well, here are some very keen rocket fans already set up. Let's go and have a chat.
John used to work for the shuttle support crew.
So the weather's very critical, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, what are sort of the ideal conditions?
This.
Despite only having one sensor, the colours were reasonable, and the Sony's face recognition was handy, though the shape of my man's hat confused it a bit. Now I'm going to try the zoom microphone feature, which should help isolate the sounds of my interviewees from the background noise. So, there's a good space shuttle fan. Sir, how do you do?
Hello. I was here for the STS-117 Atlantis shot.
And it worked reasonably well. The voice came through loud and clear, while the background engine noise was reduced. And what was it about the event itself that really makes it worth the wait?
Well, I mean, every kid likes fireworks, and you don't get much of a bigger bang.
Now we're crossing the bridge to Merritt Island, where the Space Center is and where the launch is going to take place. And at the Space Center's visitor complex, I'd use Panasonic's HDC TM300 with 32 gig of solid-state memory. Wow, Space Shuttle Explorer. Very impressive it looks too. The Panasonic's got 3 separate sensors, unlike the Sony. One for red, one for green, one for blue. They're slightly smaller, but they should give better colours than the Sony. The colours were really natural, and it's the only one of the 3 capable of recording in 1080p high definition. Although the menu could be annoyingly convoluted, it offered loads of options. The Panasonic offers quite a bit more manual control than the other 2, and I particularly like this ring round the lens that you can assign to focusing or zooming. But at the end of the 12 times zoom, the image stabilization was noticeably poorer than the Sony's. However, I loved the focus tracking feature. Excuse me, I don't know whether you just look at my face in the screen and touch on it on the touch screen. And then what happens is, wherever I go in the frame, whether I go a long way away from the camera or indeed rush straight up to it, it keeps me in focus and properly exposed. Brilliant. The launch was now only a few hours away, but then disaster struck. 11 lightning strikes hit the area, including one on the shuttle itself. More storms and 2 hydrogen leaks during fueling meant Endeavour's launch was delayed by 4 days. But being British, I wasn't going to let these little things get in the way of my testing. Oh, well, that's a blow. The launch has to be postponed. So I've got to find something else to shoot to test this cannon. Airboat rides. The Canon Legria HFS-10 has a 32 gig flash drive and a large single sensor, and the wildlife of the wetlands was perfect for testing it. Now, if you want to focus manually using the Canon, there's no focus ring. It's got one of these wheels at the side, which is handier than using a button or touching a screen, but it's still quite hard to focus while you're actually shooting. And there was no viewfinder and no touchscreen. However, while colour was a little unrealistic, the images were beautifully clear and crisp, and it dealt with the motion admirably. I really like the way they've built in a mini LED shooting light, which is located alongside the flash you use for stills, but obviously I don't need it out here. I was impressed by all my camcorders, but I had to pick a winner. Time for the G ratings. And it's 3 Gs for the Canon. Its crisp images are let down by the lack of a viewfinder. The easy-to-use Sony also gets 3 Gs with great image stabilization, but colours not as vibrant as the Panasonic, which gets 4 Gs, with beautifully natural images and enough features to satisfy the most demanding filmmaker.